All right, everybody, we are back early this morning. Dynasty Mir search for Huru and have the brother Mansa Musa with the brand Ufumbuzi. Did I say that right? Ufumbuzi.
That's correct. Ufumbuzi.
Ufumbuzi. And I know a lot of you guys often have questions in regards to how to start a business in Africa and how to do import, export. And so I found a brother who has been successful at doing that. So, Brother Mansa, thank you so much for coming on.
My pleasure.
And you're currently in Sierra Leone, correct? Correct?
Yes. I've been. I just started coming to Sierra Leone on a regular basis this year to open our international trade offices here.
Okay. All right. What brought you to Sierra Leone? Because I know you've kind of been all over Africa a little bit. What's unique about Sierra Leone?
Well, before I go to any country, anywhere, I usually do at least 4 months of research. With our Ufumbuzi programs for the last 17, 18 years, we've had interns coming in from different universities and some high schools. And that's part of the projects I put them on. We research different African countries and Asian countries that we're going to do business in, bless you. And, we have a set of criteria, how safe it is, the commodities that are available there, and so on and so forth. And so we determined 7 countries that we will go to first. And so that's what I've been doing for the last 10 years, is just going to those countries and opening up markets and opening offices. Now, Sierra Leone.
Yes,
Sierra Leone has iron ore. They have gold. They have diamonds. They have coltan, which is the material, rare earth mineral that they use to make cell phones and so on and so forth. They've got seafood. It's on the ocean, so they got seafood. All the food here is organic. All of that can be, traded within Africa and then to the U.S. or to whatever country. I can go down a long list. So basically, all 54 to 58 of our countries on the continent of Africa, including the islands, then it can go up to 70, have some type of rare earth mineral and all types of amazing products that we used to trade until colonization. Then when colonization happened, all of a sudden, we got disconnected from trade.
Okay, and as far as the brand Ufumbuzi, tell us your background. Where are you from, and how you ended up on the continent?
Okay, I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana, and Seattle, Washington. And my family was on the Nottoway slave plantation in Louisiana and the Franklin plantation in North Carolina.
Okay.
And before that, we came from Mali and Sierra Leone. We were the Mandingo.
Okay.
And then some of us ended up in Ghana. We mingled in with the Fanti tribe on the coast, Cape Coast region of Ghana.
Yep.
And that's where they took us into enslavement and to the U.S. So, that's where I'm from. Ufumbuzi. Ufumbuzi is a Swahili word, and it means the solution. Okay. And so what Ufumbuzi is saying is, the solution is unity, because we have every natural resource known to mankind. With Africans in the diaspora, we have every connection we need around the world to take control of all the trade around the world, that are near African hands, and then all of our natural resources in Africa. And we can be so wealthy and powerful, just like in the Songhai Empire. But right now, we have to work on our mind. Our mind has been clouded for failure, and we can't do this, and we need somebody else to do it. But we got all the brain power. We got everything needed to really take control and bring back on another African Renaissance.
Let me, how close are we to experiencing, because I speak on that as well, how close are we to experiencing that African Renaissance?
You know, it could happen in a blink of an eye. But with the slow progress we got going, which is slow because I mean we've been kind of on the outs for over 250 years now.
Right.
But right now, yeah, right now we're probably about 50 years. We're gonna see something amazing, and then in 100 years, we'll be probably in the top 20 nations again, or continents, and you know at least some of our, like right now. Six African countries are the fastest growing economies on the planet Earth. Okay. So when we see that renaissance, it's probably going to end up being 15 African countries and then some diaspora that have connected.
Okay. What's your, as far as the diaspora in engaging Africa from a business perspective, what's your, I guess, your strategy or advice you could give on that?
Okay, so now my strategy is to, give me 1 second, please.
No problem. No problem.
My strategy is to connect the dots. Okay. One of the things, you know, that we have an advantage, especially in the US, is we have 24-hour internet service, so we can research and find out any information that we want. So to connect the dots, right now, my strategy is to put offices, trade offices, business incubator, international trade offices in every state in the United States.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna, like right now, we're already in California, Atlanta, and Seattle, Washington.
Okay.
We've got members of Ufumbuzi in at least 30 states in the United States of America.
Okay.
Okay, and then we're putting these international trade business incubator offices. I just opened one here in Sierra Leone. We got Ethiopia going, and we got Ghana going. And so, really, I'd like to be in all 55 countries in Africa. And we have these trade offices. So any product, I don't care what product it is, any infrastructure project, any, you know, uprising NGO with some fantastic thing like that, any musician, any actress, any model. I mean, any of these things can be marketed. Football players, the soccer players, they call it football here, but soccer players, they need management, you know, to go and play in different teams, and there's so many different ways. Making movies, okay, so it's 1,000 times less expensive to make a movie in Africa, and you got these grand landscapes. You could hire 1,000 horses and do a great scene, you know, for next to nothing. Okay, so that's my concept. My concept is, I'll give you an example. We come over sometimes. We get a container of baskets from Ghana.
Okay.
We put it on a container, a container. The baskets at the time were costing about, I think, $5 each. So we got full container, 12,000 baskets for, I think it was 60,000. And when we go and sell them in the U.S. retail, we get 240,000. Okay.
Oh wow.
And now when,
I said, wow. Wow. Go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. So you can imagine when we go buy the baskets in Africa, we go to a village or a manufacturer, we're paying 20,000, 10,000, 5,000 at a time. This helps whole entire villages, employees, entire villages, keeps them, you know, they don't have to run to the city and get less paying jobs. They can be out in the village, or if they already have a manufacturing unit, they can just keep and expand their manufacturing, because we're constantly coming there, giving them 30,000, 40,000. Okay. And so then my office concept, we train people in all this. We train them how to do international trade, import, export. Wow. That's what the Ufumbuzi program is. People join it, we train them on trade, and we're trying to connect the dots with Africans around the world.
Well, let me ask you this. Now, someone who's interested in doing trade, import, export from Africa, who's in America, is Africa to the point now where, like, for example, when let's talk about China. At one point in time, you were like maybe 15, 20 years ago, it was probably necessary for you to travel to China, build the relationships, and do the import export that way. But now you just go on Alibaba. You know, is Africa to that point now where you could just,
you know, my internet just slowed up. I can't really hear what you're saying. It's cutting off.
Okay. All right. So 15, 20 years ago.
Yes.
All right. You could say you want to do import export from China. The majority of people who wanted to get involved in that will actually have to go to China, build the relationships, go to the, I guess, manufacturers or the wholesalers, right?
Right. I can't hear anything.
You can't hear me?
Oh, it just keeps going in and out. I hear every other word.
Oh man. Okay. Because we hear you fine.
Let me switch to my iPhone personal hotspot. Let's see if I can do that.
Okay, well, you might drop off though. That's the thing.
Oh, that's true. No, it's now it's going. It's good again. Okay. So sorry. Go ahead and ask again.
Okay, all right, no problem. So, excuse me 1 second.
Okay.
All right, sorry about that. All right, so
No
you know, 15, 20 years ago, say you wanted to do import export from China. You know, a lot of people end up going to China, building the relationships, and you know, going that route. Now you can just go on Alibaba. Is Africa to that point where someone wants to do import export that they don't have to actually go to Africa, like they could just order the products and get them here? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Okay. It's cutting it out, but I'm going to ask you and see if I'm on the same page. Can you still hear me?
I hear you fine.
Okay. All right. It sounds like you're saying 15 or 20 years ago, if somebody wanted to get into international trade and they didn't have much funds, how would they go about it?
No. The question, 10 to 15 years ago, if someone wanted to do import, export, wholesale from China, I knew people who would actually have to physically go to China, establish the relationships, you know, go to the manufacturers, get samples, do it that way. Now they have Alibaba, DHA, where you don't have to do that. Is the setup in Africa, in your opinion, do you have to physically go to Africa?
Okay. You want me to hang up and call back in? Because
yeah, I lost you. I can't hear you. Yeah, I would say hang up and call back in. Hello? Hello?
yes.
Can you hear me?
I can't hear anything.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello? Hello? Hey, guys, press 1 in the chat room.
Yes, you want me to call back in from my iPhone? I can't hear anything on my laptop.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay, I'll call right back in.
People, press 1 in the chat room if you can hear me clearly. Press 1. Okay, perfect. No, I'm just gonna wait for the brother to come back on. Once again, Azinga, did I send you a card yet? Azinga, have you super chatted before? Appreciate the super chat, Azinga. Thank you so much. It means a lot. You know, as you can see, we are building this platform with your guys' help. You know, I want to be the resource when it comes to the building the relationship between the diaspora and the continent. I want to be the resource. Of course, there's other resources, but you know, I want to make sure you got the card. Okay. And then your shuka will be sent out Monday from Gariga. It's going to be sent out Monday. Healthy, you're looking on the wrong site. Guys, I'm gonna start a consulting business where I will book your flights for you guys. I don't know where you guys be finding these $2,000 flights from. That's ridiculous. But again, super chat, you get a card. Make sure you guys like the Africa Personified page on Facebook and Instagram, and search for Uhuru on Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, Snapchat, all that good stuff, and Twitter. Yeah, super chat option is right here, or you can just sign up on Patreon. Also, I have the Patreon, you guys. There you go. Patreon, search for Huru. Make sure you guys go on there. All right, Sultan, just make sure you send me a message. You got me, dynastysamir.com. If you want the kaftans, go to dynastysamir.com, and they're there. We could customly make them for you. Everybody, thank you for getting up early this morning and joining us. Hope you guys are enjoying this so far. Sorry about the technical difficulties. Thank you so much. So yeah, thank you so much. Just reading something. Let's wait for the brother Master to get back on so we can continue to chop it up. See what other questions we got in the chat room. Hopefully we get this brother back on soon. Yeah, so if you're serious about traveling to Africa, I will set everything up for you and just give me, just take care of me. But I will set everything up for you. So if you're serious about going to Africa and you just don't have the time to find the flights and set everything up, again, I can do all that for you. So just hit me up. Not really opening up a travel agency. It's more of a consultant. Okay, so you super chat. There's a super chat, a $ button right next to the emoji button, and you just click on that. Click on the super chat button. It's a $. It's in the chat room. You click on that, and then that will take you. Probably won't call it Dynast Tours Killing Cash, but I'll put something together. So yeah. There's a sequel coming. Sultan, I need you to put the link in here of where the Black Panther sequel. Because I left after the UN speech. I left after he made the UN speech at the end. I had a dip. So yeah. But people were saying the reason. Listen, if you haven't seen the movie, I'm about to spoil it. All right, I'm about to spoil the movie. So if you haven't seen it, you might want to put your computer on mute. But it makes sense to have a sequel because Killmonger he drunk that sacred flower. So it's hard to be killed when you drink the sacred flower, from my understanding. So I think there will be a sequel, some type of sequel. And plus the way, what it did as far as at the box office, it would only make sense to have a sequel. All right, brother, we got you back. Hello?
Hello? Can you hear me?
I hear you fine. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3.
I hear you fine. I hear you just fine. Can you hear me?
Oh, wait, let me turn this video.
I hear you fine. Can you hear me?
I just turned the video off. Let's see if this improves it.
Okay. Can you hear me? Hello. Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
No, it's okay.
You can't hear me? Can people hear me in the chat room? Press 1.
Say that again?
No, can you hear me now?
Yeah, now I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. All right. So question, so we don't lose you again. If someone, okay, so 10, 15 years ago, people who were interested in, we'll say, doing wholesale, import, export, whatever you want to call it in China, had to physically go to China and get everything established. Is that the same way for Africa? Would you have to physically go to Africa and get that set up, or can you? Hello?
Okay, now I think I got your question. So you're asking me 10 or 15 years ago when people started running to China because, you know, they were open for trade and to start doing business stuff. You're saying, is that the same thing as what's going on with Africa?
Right, but do you have to actually physically go to Africa to because you know when China was open for trade, people were actually physically going to China, but now they have Alibaba, and that kind of circumvents that. Is it the same situation for Africa in your opinion?
Okay,
Hello?
so again, it's going in and out, but I'm just going to try to, you know, answer the best I can from what I'm.
Hello?
The internet, social media, and let's see, the internet and e-commerce. Okay, so everything can be done online, but you just have to, it's connect yourself with a really good partner in the African country that you want to do business with. Again, that's why we decided, we said there's a need for distribution, and you know, people don't have to fly there to do it. But let me tell you, at some point, you know, whenever you really do want to fly and meet your supplier, you know, so at some point you're going to want to do that, and you're going to want to be there to do some Q&R and suggestions on how they can better make the product for your client. You know, let's say you're selling to Fred Meyers or something, and Fred Meyers has certain specifications, then you need to be able to address that to your supplier. So at some point you do need to do that, but you don't have to. Right now we can do everything virtually online. We've got enough friends from university, high school that live in different African countries that, you know, you can have a good, safe, you know, connection to some people back home. And so, yes, with the modern technology, you don't actually have to go to the place. But me, I enjoy going.
I enjoy going too. Are you on the continent permanently now? Do you ever plan on coming back to America?
No, I don't plan on coming back to the U.S. ever, except for my, you know, I'm doing international trade. So when I get a load of goods, I come back, you know, I supply stores. We got 600 stores we supply around the U.S. Sometimes I'll do a few festivals and stay there about 2 or 3 weeks, visit family, and then come back. It's just the standard of living for us here is just, you know, 100 times better than it is in the U.S. Plus, everybody looks like me here, and the food is all organic. I love the weather. People aren't getting shot every day,
Right.
you know. So I mean, I really love it.
It's funny you brought that up because we did a video yesterday. Because you know, Trump made the comment about shithole countries, and then 2 weeks later, a kid shoots up a high school and kills 17 people. So we did a video yesterday. Is America the shithole country? What's your thought on that? Or is it hypocritical for an American to call African country or Haiti a shithole country. What's your thoughts on that? Hello? Hello?
It completely froze up. I didn't hear anything.
Okay. All right. So did you hear the comments Donald Trump made in regards to Africa, calling some of the countries shithole countries? Hello?
Sound like you said something about Donald Trump.
Right. Making the comments about African countries and Haiti being shithole countries.
Oh, yeah. You know, okay, say it one more time. Let's see if I can catch it.
Okay. Donald Trump made comments about African countries being shithole countries. Did you get that part?
It seems like you said Donald Trump made comments. Are you wanting me to comment on what he said?
Correct. But is he in position to, are Americans in position to call any African country a shithole country?
Okay. Hey, are you able to send me chat messages at the same time while we're talking here?
You know what? Actually, I can. Hold on one second. Yeah, I can. Okay, perfect. I'll do it right now. So Donald Trump referred to African countries as a shithole. Are Americans being hypocritical in calling African countries shithole countries? Because 17 kids were murdered last week. All right, I just sent you a message. You get that?
Okay, I see it. Okay. Donald Trump referred to African countries as shithole. Are Americans being hypocritically in following African countries? Well, let's see if I understand the question. Yeah, I saw the children who got shot at the high schools.
Right.
I know that Donald called the entire African continent and Haiti shithole countries. But of course, Donald Trump is completely has no knowledge of any of the ancient civilizations on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
His whole knowledge base around his short stay in the United States of America. His family migrated from Germany, and his dad owned brothels. They got their wealth from prostitution,
Mm-hmm.
and then invested into real estate. And so he was born with a silver spoon. He has no knowledge at all about Asia, and including the ancient history of China, the ancient history of India. He has no knowledge of the ancient antiquity of Africa at all. I can't even take what he said with a grain of salt.
Mm-hmm.
Again, like I said, my family comes from Mandingo. We had the Songhai Empire for tens of thousands of years. Ethiopia is millions of years old. America is 240 years old. I can't even listen to babies.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm American, so I'm only talking about Donald Trump, because the rest of the normal Americans, but I don't know how that relates to the shooting at the school. The issue with the shooting of
are kids being shot in Sierra Leone as kids? Did you get that?
No, it's only in America where we have these mass shootings on a regular basis.
Right.
In Sierra Leone, in Ethiopia, in Ghana, I can go around and name at least out of 54 countries, I could name maybe, let's see, 47 that are completely peaceful in paradise, and all of the negative propaganda is just to keep Africans in the diaspora, African Americans, Africans in London, Africans in France, and all. It's to keep us away from our birthright. You know, the African birthright, we have all the natural resources and the most beautiful real estate on the planet Earth, the continent of Africa, with all the natural resources. 60% of all the arable agricultural land on the planet Earth, 40% of all the gold, all the diamonds, all the gemstones. I mean, everything is there. So they have to use all these tricks, you know, a disease and war, and make it seem like it's horrible. I wish I can show you right now. Just on a hotel right on the ocean. It's so beautiful and so peaceful. They love us, you know. So all of that other stuff is just propaganda.
Okay. I sent you another question as well. Give us an idea of how to export products from Africa, like behind it, as far as the container, dealing with customs and all that.
Okay, give us an idea of how to export, getting a container, dealing with customs. Okay, so here's the thing. So this is what I was saying earlier about what we have in the West. Right now, we have 24-hour internet, $45 a month or whatever. You know, over here, it's so expensive. But we have all of the information at our hands. If you go on the internet and look up MLS codes or look up US custom codes, okay, this is something that you're going to want to download, because whenever you export anything, they have all the information step by step on how to do it, what codes to write into your paperwork. Now there's, you know, when you first do it, you should do it. The easiest way is to, you know, start, have somebody ship it to you through via the post office in Africa to your house, and just see how that process goes. The next step is to get a broker. Okay, you can get a broker, and the broker knows all of the codes for you. Now, what I have found is because Africa is not in their radar, once you start doing a little research for 3, 4, 5 months, then you're gonna know more than the customs brokers. But you get a broker at the airport, and those brokers will do all of the work for you. So you can ship a bigger amount. You know, maybe let's say you ship 1,000 necklaces. They cost you, that's $500. You sell the 1,000 at $7 each. That's $7,000. Mm-hmm. That's the kind of profits you can always make on international trade. And also, they have an outreach manager at most custom offices. This person will come out to your home, or not, to your office, I think, or you can go set an appointment and meet them, and they will explain to you, you know, all of the, you know, details of how to do it, and especially if you come in with a list of products that you're interested in shipping, and show them.
Mm. Okay.
Should I keep going?
Yeah. Keep going. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. And then again, one of the other things we have is the African Growth and Opportunity Act. Okay, this African Growth and Opportunity Act gives us no duty and no tax on majority of the items that we're going to be shipping from Africa. Okay, so this is another reason why it's so cost effective to do import-export from Africa. First of all, the labor is inexpensive here, so the products are a lot less expensive. The dollar is stronger, so like $1 is worth, I think, 7,000 or 8,000 leones. Okay, so the dollar is stronger, labor is inexpensive. We don't have duty or tax because of the African Growth and Opportunity Act, and they also have preferential treatment included in that AGO Act. All of that makes it cost effective, and it streamlines the process. And most of us aren't using that, but this is what they were saying they were going to give African countries and African in the diaspora in return for colonization and enslavement, but nobody knows about it. So it's been around since 2000. So yeah, so you do that, and so what I do, I print out the African Growth and Opportunity Act. So anytime I'm shipping something, when I go to customs or anywhere where I'm going to be dealing with my goods and U.S. Customs, and they say something, I pull out my paperwork and show them, here, no duty and no tax. Because a couple of times they tried to question me. I even had to call the main boss at the port in Seattle, because the lady was just determined to charge me. And when the main boss heard about it, he said, oh, no, he doesn't have to pay. And so it's just really sweet. It's really a sweet deal. But again, I always want to say, you know, the best way to do this, at least you have to make one trip at some point to your supplier and build a relationship.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I sent you another question. The question was, why do you think, I would say, the powers that be don't want the diaspora to connect with Africa? It's in the chat room. I put it in the chat.
Okay, I'm reading. Why do they not want the diaspora connected with Africa? Okay, so what has happened is one of the biggest smoke screens, you know, part of colonization is to pretend like you don't want somebody when you actually are dependent on them. So African Americans specifically spend $1.3 trillion a year. And I think it might be up to $1.5 trillion a year. That's as much as somewhere between the 7th and the 3rd largest economy on the planet Earth. If African Americans left America with all their money and went back to Africa, that $1.5 trillion would be taken out of the budget. Mm-hmm. They can't live without us. And the problem, the biggest challenge with us is we spend all of our money with them and with Asians.
Right.
You know, now most groups, they spend money with each other, right. And that's how trade is supposed to be. So African Americans have a trade deficit or a trade imbalance. You see, most of the time they get in these big fights, like Donald Trump says China is a trade abuser and all this kind of stuff, because everybody wants to have a balanced trade, 50-50. If I give you 50 fish, I want that equivalency of rice. But what China had tricked them into, everything you look at, your shoes, your clothes, everything says made in China, but China wasn't allowing America to do trade in their country. Okay, so that causes a trade imbalance. This is what has happened with Africans in the diaspora. We have all these resources and all this money, but we give all of our money to Europeans and Asians, and all of our resources are being benefited by Europeans and Asians, because there's not a large enough numbers of diaspora and people on the continent connecting together. And you know, all of our money is being given to Europeans and Asians. Every time we go to a store, look at the store that you're shopping at. Look at the clothes you're wearing.
All right.
We're paying for our own oppression.
Mm. Okay. I'm gonna type another. Can you hear me? Or do I need to,
so that's why.
Okay. Can you hear me, or do I need to type the question in the chat room again? Can you hear me? Hello? Oh, I just typed in the chat.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so here we go. African, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. The concept of Pan-Africanism, do you see that being adopted by Africa in order to do business with, you know, between the diaspora and the continent?
Okay, go ahead and type it in.
Okay. Concept of Pan-African. Do you see African leaders embracing that or not, and including diaspora? Or is the concept, I'm typing the concept of a collective, sorry guys, sorry about that in the chat room as well, African identity going to be rejected. Okay. All right. I just sent it.
Okay. The concept of Pan-Africanism, do you see African leaders embracing that or not, and including the diaspora? Or is the concept of a collective African identity going to be rejected? No, no. It's just either going to be a fast process or a slow process. African unity is coming. We got the African Union, ECOWAS. We've got all kind of groups trying to unify, but we need to have a maximum point. There's a point where it will be a renaissance. So it's happening. And we need more people to wake up. That's one of the things that Ufumbuzi is trying to do. And so we need more groups trying to pull us all together, because a certain number of people that join, then the renaissance begins.
Okay. Let me ask you. I got it. Can you hear me? Okay, you can.
You know what? I think you're gonna have to type everything in, because it just goes in and out.
Who don't identify as African, but from Israel. What are your thoughts about them? Okay, I just sent it. African, because we have some in the chat room saying that they're not from Africa, they're from Israel. What are your thoughts about that?
Okay, let's see. African, but Israel. What are your thoughts? Okay, so you see, Israel is next to Africa. It's next to Egypt. Israel used to be Africa specific. The Queen of Sheba, Sabaland, all of this place they call in Kuwait and Oman and all these places used to be Africa. And Spain and Greece and all those islands there, all that was used to be controlled by the Moors and by the Carthaginians and the Phoenicians. What has happened is, when we did our original migrations, keep in mind, we did the first migrations to the Americas in every place and all the islands. When you go there and you check the DNA, you see that it's Africans everywhere. And so that's kind of the challenge that's been happening. They changed the concept to a region, but it's not really regional. If you think about it, we all know that the oldest bones were found in Ethiopia and a couple other places in East Africa, but the ones in Ethiopia, 3.7 to 4.1 million years old. So we've been migrating around the planet since the beginning of the time. We've had ships before everybody. We were floating all over the planet before them, but doggone it, you can walk to Israel from Ethiopia. So, yeah.
I'm typing another question. How can you help someone set up an NGO if they have a nonprofit here in America? All right, I just sent the question.
All right, how can you help someone
set up a
nonprofit here in America? Okay, so again, see, this is why I'm opening these offices, because usually it'd be difficult, but if we get some offices for you. Without an office there, then you're going to want to contact the Chamber of Commerce in your area, and then have that Chamber of Commerce contact the Chamber of Commerce in Africa, and use that connection to be able to get the work done.
Okay, it's the process. Let me type. Hold on. Is the process of getting an NGO an NGO in Africa hard if you already have a 501c3 in America? You already have a 501c3 in America. Okay.
Okay, I'm reading that. Let's see. Is the process of getting an NGO in Africa hard if you already have a 501c3 in America? So this is the trick. This is the trick. I have found that nothing is hard. I've got residency in Sierra Leone. Keep in mind, I'm a U.S. citizen. I've got work permit. I've got, in Ethiopia, I got citizenship. So there, none of these things that they're pretending is difficult. Everything is available. The information is available on the internet. So whatever country you want to go to, you can go on the internet and see the process. And then the key is, just like when you're in university and you had to finish a report, you just answer all the questions they ask you. And as long as you answer all the questions they ask you, whatever you need, you're going to get in life.
Okay. Let's see what else we got here. Guys, any questions in the chat room? I want this to be interactive. Any questions in the chat room? Any questions in the chat room, people? Again, I want this to be interactive. I brought this brother on for you guys as well, too. Okay, let me type another question. Would you recommend someone to relocate to Africa? Okay. Should people be looking for jobs when they come to Africa, or should they come with an entrepreneur mindset? Okay, I'm about to send another question.
Okay.
All right, there it goes.
Okay, should people be looking for jobs when they come to Africa, or should they come? Okay, unless you're going to be working for the U.S. State Department, or you're coming with a NGO already that's going to be paying you, then there is no way you can come here and work, because, again, the dollar difference, $1 US is worth 7,700 leones.
Mm-hmm.
So that means when you come, the salary is gonna maybe be $300 to $1,000 per month. And we're used to making more than that. So it's better to come with some type of a business in mind. Write up a business plan, and then come set to do a business and get all the business and stuff ready. And set before you if you're going to relocate. If you're not going to relocate, just get your business plan, get everything set up, and then come here to do a business.
Okay.
Because it's they're only according to the cost of.
Okay. How's let me ask. Let me put in the chat room.
330.
Chat room. How could someone utilize their CNA in a place like Sierra Leone? I just sent another question.
Okay, how could someone utilize their CNA in a place like Sierra Leone? What is a CNA?
I think CNA is like a nurse, the nursing certification, I believe. Am I correct? That's what a CNA is? People in the chat room?
Certified nursing
Shakita,
assistant.
is that what a CNA is? Shakita, is that a CNA? That's your nursing certification, correct? What is, okay, yes, that's what it is, yeah. Oh, let me type it, you can't hear me. It's a nursing certification from here in America, CNA.
Yes, okay. Okay, so nursing you can take anywhere around the world and be successful. I would advise that they come with some type of idea, you know, of a small medical clinic, you know, and they charge some fees. They can work something out with the government here to get some funding too. And you can get funding in the US to do that. So I would set that up as a business. And, you know, if you were coming here to live. Now, if you're not coming here to live, then there's all kinds of places you could come and use those skills. You won't get paid, but, you know, there's organizations, some organizations that will pay, but it won't be much. And you could just be helping out. But if you want to use that to live, you know, while you're in Africa, then you just think of some kind of type of medical clinic, something that you can offer. It can be some, you know, just a few things like for malaria, you know, just a few things, and then you charge a fee. You know, we need more medical clinics all over Africa. So if you did that, you'd be making a decent living and helping people at the same time.
Okay. Okay. See what other questions we got in here. Let's see here. Sorry about that. Just trying to see what other questions we have in the chat room. Okay, let me ask. This is a good question. How do you search for people to import from in Africa, and how do you know if they are trustworthy? All right, this is another question.
Okay, how do you search for people to import from in Africa, and how do you know if they are trustworthy? The best way to do it is to go through the Chamber of Commerce. Use a Chamber of Commerce in your area, in your state, in your city, and those Chamber of Commerce have been doing business with and identifying trustworthy business people for, you know, at least 30 years, most of them. So you can get all that information there. You can join. You can become a member of the African Chamber of Commerce in your area.
Oh, wow.
Or any of them in the U.S. And you can get the connections through there, or even the General Chamber of Commerce. If you ask them, a lot of times they have those connections too.
Okay. Let's see here. Let's do a couple more questions. How can those like myself?
Okay, and then I want to apologize for calling me for engagement.
Okay, no problem. Let me ask this. We'll ask two more questions, and then we'll go ahead and close out. In fact, let me just copy and paste it. Let's see here. I would say your answer would probably to be get married, I would think, but let's see. All right. I already sent the question. Thank you, Sister Bay.
Okay, how can those like myself in the diaspora repatriate to Ghana or other countries in Africa without a lengthy process. You know, you can, first thing, you can get 2-year visas and move, you know, and visit. So every 2 years, schedule a visit to go see your family and then get another 2-year visa. And once you get here, you can talk to a few people in the government and they can get you, you know, different types of residencies and long-term stays and so on and so forth. Easier process than going through that other rubbish. Now, the other thing is, yes, you can get married. And if you're single, you know, there's just so many for women and for men. So you can come over here and get married and just, and then you become citizenship that way. So those are the two easiest ways. And then, of course, if you're coming over to do business, then everything really becomes easy because they see that you're giving back to the country.
Right.
And then they'll make all types of easy ways for you to do anything. And so, you know, those 3 ways work and are easier ways to do it. Now I have to give me notice. I can schedule myself more time.
Say that one more time.
I have an appointment I have to get to.
Oh, okay. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and close out. Go ahead and close out and give everyone your contact info and tell people how you could be of service. Did you get that?
Okay, so here, yes, I got it. All right. So here's how everybody can contact me. Again, you can contact me and, you know, just for general information through my websites, www.ufumbuzitsg.com or ufumbuzinow.com. You can go on Facebook. We have, that's how, I mean, how do you pronounce your name, Danier?
Dinas.
That's how Dinas contacted me, through my Ufumbuzi, the solutions group on Facebook. We have a store on there and we have websites. How we can be of help? You can use our offices for all the questions you ask. You can contact our offices, and then, you know, if you're coming into a country that we've already opened an office in or have some contacts in, we could network for you and get you connected. You know, you can join Ufumbuzi and help us expand, and we all work together to get offices built all over the US and all over Africa, so we can do this with ease. Again, one of the ways we can all demand any type of citizenship we want is if we have power. So if you imagine if we had an office in 20 countries in Africa and 10 states in the US, with that type of power, then you can demand whatever you want. You're traveling back and forth, get any type of citizenship, and so on and so forth. Other than that, I want to say peace and hotep. Thank you for having me. And if you give me advance notice and let me know, I can have something prepared for you. Again, take a look at our websites if you just want to come on a general tour, or if you want a guided business tour, or you want a tour where I show you how to do all these things that we've been asking each other today. And we'd be glad to facilitate that for you. And thank you, brother, for what you're doing.
No problem, brother. Thank you so much for coming on. Everybody in the chat room, sorry about the technical difficulties, but thank you for joining us today. Make sure you go to search for Uhuru on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and Facebook. I had a new person here, and let me get back to the chat. I had somebody new who contributed today. Let me get your name real quick. Let me go back up here and find you. The True Goddess. Go ahead and email me your information so I can get you out a postcard. So I can go ahead and get you one out. Go ahead and email me. Search for uhuru@gmail.com. It's in the description. It'll be in the description. Go ahead and email me your address so I can get you a postcard. But everybody, thank you for coming on. Again, search for Uhuru Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Go to searchforhuru.com. Go to Amazon.com. Search your name, Dynasty Mirror. Please buy a book. And then also make sure you go to dynastymirror.com as well. Guys, I'll be back. I'll be right back on in about 10 minutes with a sister from Somalia. We're going to chop it up. So Dynasty Mirror, Kaftan Don. Till next time, which will be in 10 minutes. Peace.